Okie doke. Not again. No more 5 minutes. I hope everyone can hear me well enough. It's been a few weeks since I was the pilot in our amazing webinars to tell about the language programs of Finnish future and of course Finland. And this week we have a very Finnish topic and not just pertaining to Finland. But before we get there, I would like to introduce myself, of course. My name is Jani Vaalimo, and I'm the head of sales and marketing at Finnish Future here in Finland. And joining us also from Finland, we have our guest speaker. If you could say hello and everyone can hear what's going on and tell like few words about yourself.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Tikatne. I am a Burmese student currently studying in Finland. I came here last year, so I'll be studying the second year of high school in Finland this year. Yes.
Very good. And we also have Tammy from marketing team. Say hello, Tammy, everyone. To everyone.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tammy. I'm the events marketing coordinator at Finnish Future.
Very good. And there is a schedule to these things, but as time seems to fly really quickly, we also like to give more and more time for questions and answers. So let's go. Let's start with this thing. I will briefly go on about how the time will be spent for the coming hour. And this will be recorded, and please share it with anyone that might benefit from the information and would want to look into the amazing opportunities to come to Finland for the education and stay for life. But I will go through this one very quickly. So the introduction period is ongoing, and quickly about Finnish Future and where we are, what we are trying to do. That is our main mission and objective. Then I believe some people might know one or two things about Finland, and we will start with where we are and quickly about how Finland is seen from outside. And I will always add few tidbits from a native Finn that what we are actually about. Then we will dive into culture shocks, but focus on how to get over them. So that is our main topic. And we quickly summarize the upcoming events, what's coming in webinars and stuff like that. So it'll be summarized very, very, very quickly. And hopefully we will have a lot of questions. So write the questions down so that we can start to go over them. And hopefully, unfortunately, we might not get all questions answered, but please, you can send them also to hello@finishfuture.org if you feel that we've skipped or didn't see your questions. And to wrap things up, we will be having an extra 5 minutes to say a big thank you to everyone joining the webinar. Jumping in about Finnish Future. So basically what we are doing is enabling people to build the dream lives that they want, that they've seen in all American movies. In Finland, the American dream is a reality, and it's very much based on fantastic education that enables people from all kinds of backgrounds and all kinds of plans and dreams about the future to have a finest future of themselves, for themselves and for their families and friends and whoever might want to join our mission of making Finland also the greatest place of talent-dense environment and people that are drawn to each other and making great things together, because education and other thing that on the menu is here is entrepreneurship. That is also at the very core of things. Finland, we like to support everyone to try their own wings, try their own business, because the reality in Finland is that while education is the basis and we need tens of thousands of students every year, but also we need tens of thousands of employees every year. And a lot of people joining Finland through our programs will become entrepreneurs. They will be employees. They will go start with us with high school or vocational school, and you can then go to universities from either one. And if you do it in Finnish, it'll cost you €0. So that is also the good aspect of what we are. But because of how we can offer this sort of system, everything is based on equality, and I will talk about a bit that later on. But Finnish Future is also joined by Finnish Bay Area. If you go to the internet and put Finnish Bay Area, you might see that some of the people behind Finnish Future is also behind Finnish Bay Area. And this is the entirety that we are gonna try to build, sort of like the Silicon Valley 2.0, but better than the Silicon Valley actually was. We are gearing up to make Helsinki, Stockholm, and Tallinn and other great cities by the Bay Area to have the best possible opportunities for people to build a safe and secure future for themselves. In short, Finnish Future does that, but what we actually do are the language teaching programs, and I will talk about those after a few words about Finland. Here we are. Finland is part of the Nordics. Our regional neighbors are, of course, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and Iceland. Iceland too, even though it's a bit remote, but the cultures, the weathers, the countries are all based on equality and good lives that all Finns can underline. Our capital city is Helsinki, and I've marked it on the map. And we actually have two official languages, which is Finnish and Swedish. And Finnish Future program is also available in Swedish language. So you might look into that also. Population. One of the biggest things that I'm sure that our guest speaker will talk or mention is that there are not that much of us. 5.5 million total population is something that you meet in other countries in one city. And it's like whole country. You will find that when you come to Finland, you have lots and lots of space and room to enjoy our beautiful nature and all the weather that we can offer. And in Finland, we have 4 clear seasons. We are currently in halfway, or actually going to the latter half of summer in Finland. Lots of sunshine, around 25 degrees Celsius. And it's a good summer, and it's of course raining a bit sometimes, but also a lot of sun. After summer, of course, comes autumn, and you might see from the picture that in Finland the trees change quite drastically and the weather starts to get colder, and when the winter arrives you will of course find yourself in lots of snow, which Finland is famous for. And if you look at the map on the right corner, top right corner, you might also recognize the most famous Finland person, which of course is the Santa Claus. And everyone in the world knows that the Santa comes from Finland, and particularly our northernmost regions of Lapland and cities like Rovaniemi, where Santa is known to have a workshop or two. What is Finland? Lots of space. Finland is also known as the land of 1,000 lakes, which actually is quite far from the truth, because we have almost 200,000 lakes. And most of the country is covered by forests, but we have cities all across the country, so that no frontier goes unchecked, and everywhere there are people and cities. An interesting fact, for the 6th time in a row, which means back to back, Finland has been ranked as the happiest country, happiest nation in the world. So we had a few webinars behind us that we went into what Finns are like, why Finland is happiest. So these might be good ones to also for you to check to get into the Finnish mentality, that what is the basis of the happiness. But I think that it will become evident here that our happiness is based on personal freedom to become anything you want and to live in a country that wholeheartedly supports your dreams and the dreams of your loved ones. So that is the base of happiness in Finland. One moment, I will check the clock. Yes, we're kind of on time. Going forward, the Finnish culture shocks. Before I go into this one, I would like to remind you what Finnish Future is actually about. You might see us in the internet and follow us on the social media and see people who are joined our program. We are currently enjoying a summer camp in Korpilahti, one of our great cities, smaller towns in Finland, and we have a lot of students there, and we are creating content based on that. They have like swimming, playing music and crafts, and also lessons about starting their own companies and stuff like that. So pay attention to our camps, because these are amazing opportunities for you to get acquainted with Finnish Future and what we do and what your future in Finland would look like. But what we actually do is teach people the Finnish language, because then they can come and arrive into Finland. And of course, before that, you have to apply to a school and get through a series of interviews. And then you can start your school in Finland and enjoy a career and bring your family with us, get them onboarded, because your finest future awaits in Finland, and it's actually a reality. And when we are always talking about the opportunities in Finland, it's kind of the biggest issue is that how can this exist and be free? And the education in Finland is free, but our programs, of course, comes with price, because all the good things have value in life. And we aim to provide everyone the best opportunity to build the rest of their life in Finland. So that is absolutely what we are about. Culture shocks, few words. Culture shock, everyone has traveled, even to the neighboring city, or not to mention neighboring country. There are new things. Everything is new. Everything is also fantastic and so alluring and also interesting, and you seem that you don't have time to go through all these things that you see. But at a time, after a time, something happens, a cultural shock, especially if you start to live in a certain environment. You will start to notice things, because while in the first part, everything was new, everything is indeed new. Or actually not everything, but most of the things that you might take for granted in your home country. So maybe like in one of my greatest questions, or like interesting questions in previous webinars, have been like, are there spices in Finland for food and cooking? And I was happy to say, absolutely. In Finland, we have lots of oriental and different like cuisine spice stores that are mainly set for certain things. So there are some obstacles like finding the right spices, but these are very practical ones. Then you start adjusting. When you are thinking about living in Finland and especially finding your own place, you will start to notice, okay, I cannot do this thing perhaps the way that I do it back home, but essentially I'm able to do these things also in Finland. So the adjusting part is a great deal of attitude. And I've decided that I will make it in this new environment, and I will just seek out the solutions that work for me. And then, of course, you can comfortably start living it. Not everything will be the same, but also that is a good thing, because that's why you left home. maybe to look for better things, different things, and have an adventure and to really build a future for yourself. But so that it's not just for my end, we're gonna jump to our guest speaker, who will now have the floor.
Okay. I would like to first introduce myself again for the people who joined later. And hopefully everyone can hear me right now. If you guys cannot hear, maybe you can send in the chat or something. Yes. So my name is Tikatne. I am a Burmese student who is currently studying in Finland, second year of high school. And I have encountered great amount of cultural shocks when I first got here, and I would like to share with you guys today. I only picked out like a few topics because of the time limit, but hopefully I can share everything in details. So the first thing I encountered when I first stepped into Finland was the air quality difference. As someone who came from a country with lots of population, for context, the city I live in has the same population as the whole country in Finland. So the air quality wasn't the best, of course. And I didn't believe that the air quality would be that much different. But the first thing I noticed when I stepped into Finland was the air quality and how clean the air was to breathe in. And I was pretty shocked by it, but it didn't bother me that much, obviously. And the second thing is Finnish people goes to saunas naked. That thing really, really shocked me because when I learned Finnish online, the Finnish teacher, my Finnish teacher, told me that Finnish people are shy, introverted, and all sorts of experiences about like Finnish people being introverts. So I didn't expect them to go into saunas naked. So when I first go into saunas with some of my Finnish friends, they go naked and they asked me why I'm not going naked. So in Asia, it wasn't that common to go into anywhere naked. So I was pretty shocked by it, but yeah, I kind of adjusted to it, and yeah. And another thing that I encountered was the silence. At first, I didn't get used to it at all because in Finland, it's quiet all the time. Morning, afternoon, evening, night, it's always quiet. Finnish people really, really enjoy the silence. At first, I wasn't used to it because I came from a country where the nightlives and the busy city life is very popular, and it's like a normal thing in my city. So I wasn't used to the silence at all. But I'll talk about how I got used to the silence uh, a little bit later. And we encountered like some problems. Me and my friends who lived in the dorms encountered some problems too, because we kind of received like some noise complaints and stuff living there, because Finnish people doesn't like the disturbance of loud noises coming from us. So yeah, I was just telling you guys about this. And another thing I encountered when I first come to Finland was the long nights, because I first came to Finland in summer. So it was the time where the nights are very, very long, longer than usual because I came from Asia. So the nights are not very long as much as it is in Finland. So when I first come to Finland, till like 12 at night, the sun wasn't setting, like the sun wasn't down. So there's still light at night. It's 12 at night and there's still light on the streets. So me and my friends who came to Finland together were very shocked when we first come to Finland and see light at night. We didn't, we, of course, we heard things about long nights and not the sun not setting at nights in Finland, but seeing this in real life was not the same as hearing it online. So we were very, some of us cannot adjust to the nights because there was light. Even though we had curtains and stuff, they cannot adjust to the light and the sun rising in very early at night. So yeah, I'll also talk about how to adjust to this. And last but not least, Finnish people being introverts would be the biggest culture shock, because when I first got here as a Asian and an extroverted person, when I meet eyes with someone, I would tend to smile because it is considered polite in Asian countries. So when you meet your eyes with someone, you smile. That's like a culture in Asia. So when I meet Finnish people, I smile at them, but they don't smile back at me. So I was quite offended at first because I thought they find me annoying, but then I realized it's just them being introverts. So I was like, this is just a culture, and I was pretty shocked by it and kind of offended too. But then I realized I shouldn't be offended by this because this is their culture. So, and at school, I meet my Finnish friends. I sometimes go to talk to them, and they are not smiley and replying me back, and I'm just like, okay. So yeah, this was a pretty problematic culture shock for me too. And how I deal with all the cultural shocks was I just I didn't give up on trying to adjusting the cultural shocks. For example, how I adjusted to the silence was I I have like my headphones, and when I study, I tend to listen to some white noise, some kind of music or relaxing music or whatever. I tend to listen to music on my laptop, and day by day, I got used to it. I got used to the silence, and I try to enjoy the silence uh, a lot too, and I find it very enjoyable. You guys should try to enjoy the silence too. If you are as a busy city person, you guys should try to enjoy the silence too. And for the long nights, we try to close all the curtains and close all the light sources so that it will be dark. If you are someone who sleep in dark places, you should try to do that, and you'll be able to adjust it very well. And in winter too, it will be the very dark, so that's not a big problem. And the last thing is Finnish people being introverts is that mm, you you have to go and befriend them first, and they are very friendly after you get to know them. I When I first started befriending Finnish friends, they are kind of shy and they don't seem to talk that much. But after I get to know them week by week, month by month, they are very friendly and they are very willing to help uh, new people and all of us. So don't be shy, go and befriend Finnish people, and you have to go and talk to them, and don't be offended by the fact that they are introverts and they're shy to meet new people. And that's not a bad thing at all. You can go and talk to them, and they're very friendly too. And I hope you guys don't feel offended or feel anything bad about it. I i would like to share more, but due to the time limit, I will stop now and I will give the floor back to Kenny.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me? Am I muted?
Yes.
You can hear. Yes, very good. I was one button is saying that I'm muted, but the other one is saying that everyone can hear me, though. That's good. I love seeing and hearing these things because the Finns are shy people. And I kind of liked it a lot when you said that you sort of kept at it. Like anything worth anything is worth doing and trying again. And I think that it's a very Finnish thing that you showed here, because in Finland we have this thing called sisu, which is spelled like SISU. And if you look at it on the internet, there are like some explanations are like one phrase. Another explanation is a book, like book worth of stuff. So that is like not giving up, even though it might feel difficult, because it will pay out in the end. So I'm very happy to hear that you just kept at it, because the Finns need a little encouragement. We Finns need international friends to come out of our shells and of our like remote villages in a sense, because I think it's interesting that you say here that we have long nights. We certainly have long nights, and in the winter they are absolutely dark. But to combat that, we also have these lights that you can get at your homes and enjoy, like the artificial sunlight, because the nights in Finland during the winter time can be dark, but equally because people aren't happy, like what someone enjoys someone else hates. And someone might not like the darkness, but some find comfort and like solitude, like to focus on their studies and hobbies, and to create the new next big entrepreneur company that they're gonna found. That's like one of the things that you have a lot of time in Finland to focus on stuff like on your hobbies and dancing and music and whatever. One of the questions that I've asked usually from our students is like, you come from like a city of millions of people, and you live now in a small town which might have like 10,000 people. So how do you cope with the change? And they are like thoughtful and saying that, it's a change, but it's also a good change, because they can then focus on stuff and reevaluate what is important in life. So they are good, always good aspects or forces into different kind of things. And the great silence, that is something that we are actually famous in the world. I think that we have rules in our houses that during the night is for sleeping, not partying. So that is something that you have to accommodate us Finns with, so that don't party all the night. But we of course allow people to party if they tell in advance. We have these bulletin boards in city and buildings, so that if you're gonna have a party, put a note so everyone is fine with it, but no partying all the time. That's our motto. You have to do also the sisu things, the things that need doing, studying, working, and enjoying like peaceful time. You don't have to go naked to sauna. I think your friends were kind of like teasing you also here, because you are absolutely free to wear a swimsuit. That's like that nowadays. It's not frowned about, but we are also famous that we have this culture of bare butts, that we go to sauna and okay, now someone's mic is coming through. That was a good mark to change the subject. The air quality, that is absolutely one thing that you appreciate when you go abroad somewhere like huge cities like Hong Kong or whatever, even in states like Los Angeles or whatever, and you come back to Finland, and it's not without merit the claims that we have clean air, because the World Health Organization has ranked the Finnish air the cleanest in the world. Like they have said that our lakes are the cleanest. The cleanliness and the clarity of like living here and experiencing with all your senses Finland and your life, that's sort of like I'm not saying that it's like flying, but certainly coming from like where there pollution and stuff like that are plenty, it can affect your mentality and just like happiness if you can breathe with ease. Cultural shocks, there will be more, I'm sure, as with any country. Like the person that asked me in one webinar or two ago that are there spices in Finland? And like I was happy to say that we have like dedicated markets for ethnic spices and oriental and every kind of spices. So there are solutions. And someone was asking that, can you do fencing in Finland? Of course we can do fencing. We can do all the things that anyone can do in the world. Finland is like a lot of the countries that you have around the world, but we are also a bit better in many aspects. Moving on. Oops, here we go. Okay, this was already handed over. Job opportunities in Finland. It's an important webinar because we also like to mention to our students, Finnish future students, that in Finland you can work while you study, but you cannot work too much, because in Finland we are guarding the students so that they are not overworking, so that they focus on their studies and then they can work like really a lot. But job opportunities in Finland, like I mentioned, you need tens of thousands of employees a year, and that is only growing, because the simple fact is that Finland is running out of people. It's running out of Finns. That has been since the 1950s, that our birth rate has gone down. And this is the reason that why there are so many opportunities. And Finnish Future, we are a relatively young company, but we are absolutely well networked, and we will bring our Finnish Future students opportunities, telling what is available like after school work, what is available like weekend jobs, and of course we will more and more focus on guiding our students direction, that if they want to become a pilot, what do they need to study and which companies they should pay attention to. Because in that way, your dream of your reality in Finland starts to materialize, and you notice that you are not only here because of the education. You are starting the focus of remaining here for the life, because you see all the path that you have in front of you. And in Finland, lots of companies, not just the IT companies, you might know companies like Nokia or Linux or whatever, like tech companies, other companies are too coming into schools and bringing the information that we are looking for this kind of person for that kind of job. He or she can work on the weekends if that sounds good. get in contact. And this is like, we need people to understand that you have to be active, because while we have open jobs, we have also people who are looking actively open jobs, not just Finnish future students, but still like remaining active so that everything falls into place regarding your life plans in Finland. So dig up your phone and take a screenshot of the QR code, the weird little square thing that you see on the screen. But if you cannot, you can go to our social media, and these things will be advertised when the time comes, and you can comfortably sign up. How your like job opportunities in Finland would come into realization, not just after you've studied and graduated from the university or whatever, during their studies also. Okay, we are entering the question and answer section, but we have quite a bit of time, and I would like to also remind that learning Finnish language with Finnish Future, then applying into school in Finland and getting accepted and coming to study in Finland, no matter if you go to high school or vocational school, you can go to a university, you can apply to a university. And if you do your studies in Finnish language, it will be free. That is the beauty of our education system. And like Peter, the head Finnish Futurian, always asks this question that what is the best school in Finland? It is the closest to you. And this is something that's based on the fact that all the schools in Finland are equal. And it doesn't matter if you're studying in Mäntä, if you're studying in Korpilahti, if you're studying in Rovaniemi, Kilpisjärvi, or wherever. We have more than 100 schools who are partnering with us in Finland. So basically, the school that fits your purposes, some school might be located near coastal areas, so you might go into like fishing and other things like there in full on. And if you're like into winter sports, you can absolutely apply into the Nordic schools in our program. Or if you're like more into comfortable like trekking the forest or enjoying the beautiful countryside life, central areas in Finland, they're absolutely amazing. And the best school is the one closest to you, because all our teachers are masters of their crafts, and they are like on the equal level, and they are all based on similar graduation system, so that whenever you apply into university, you're always on the same level. So it doesn't matter where you come from, you are always prepared for the school. Do we have any questions? I will give the floor to the person who might have something. If you don't want to talk, use the chat. Now is the perfect time to answer. I have to ask the question, sorry. I think everything was so clear and diamond-like, so that the questions are like formulating perhaps in anyone's minds. I would like to say that watch this thing again, Google something about Finland. We are, without a doubt, one of the best countries in the world when it comes down to enabling people to follow their dreams, because our society is built on like sisu. You go where you want to go, and our system supports that. Of course, it's built to challenge, so that when you get there, you are absolutely ready to face the challenges, and you won't be overwhelmed or surprised. We have a question, when can I have a job? Is it from 18 or above? Students even below 18 can work, but that is if they are mainly students in our system in Finland. There's a number of hours that they can work during the week, And I think it was closer to, sorry, hope I'm not telling a bit, lies here, but I think that was 18 hours, but I might be exaggerating, because we also want to shield our students so that they focus on life. And the school systems that support also greatly working like on tandem for studies, because not only that will bring you money, which is appreciated, but you will get your food. You will get your foot in between the door into these companies, and you can show them that I'm a good worker, and they will absolutely love you, because they need to be sure that they are hiring right people. So the school students who are like working, that's absolutely amazing opportunity for companies to test employees, that who should we invest into. And this is a very common story in Finland, that when you are studying, not in high school, later in life too, in university, you might already have a job before you graduate. That is like absolutely happening all the day, every day in Finland. Okay, there are some more very specific questions. I will start with the easiest one, because I got then. Yeah, what is the limited time to work for a student? I will have to have that answer confirmed. I'm sorry, but there is a limit, but also like it is a sufficient time so that you can make actually proper money to support your studies. And when this recording is released, we will make sure that the answer is also there on black and white, so that it's not just something that I cannot remember for this moment. Oh, moi. Someone is already knowing a bit of Finnish. Moi, which just means hello. Can high school students learn entrepreneurship? Absolutely. Absolutely. There are like communities, not only communities that support, like seek like-minded people. This person might know cooking, but she might not know accounting. Then these people are joining a program, different kind of programs that support, especially the youth, to start their own companies. And then there are like financial programs that they can apply to get like sort of like the start monies and support, so that they will actually start, because we are not expecting that you are perfect like from the very beginning. You can test your wings, you can test what works, what doesn't work. There is a program, we will also link that with specific guidelines into how to support your growing entrepreneurship dreams. And entrepreneurship is a big thing in Finland, and even in schools, there are many programs that support the entrepreneuristic nature of like testing out ideas and going forward. And we are constantly seeing people forming new companies in Finland, not just old employees from jobs that they might have, but just new people, because Finland needs new people. Finland needs new ideas. That is the main thing here. Okay, a question, very specific one. I am an English language graduate, but looking forward to enroll in PhD sustainability. Okay, will I be allowed, or what would be my roadmap to get admitted? You have to, there are like many opportunities, especially in sustainability, because it's a big thing in Finland. I think that we can find a few solutions that would work wonderfully, like for the student, sorry, not student, but like how to grasp your dream in Finland. Yeah, there's a question regarding average salaries. So basically, it depends greatly on where you're going to work, and some jobs pay like €5 an hour. Some jobs pay like €10 an hour. There is a minimum wage, like it's very frowned upon to pay too little, but also some companies also like to do that. you can sort of like, if it's possible to arrange like a work practice period in these companies and get actually like student credits. This is like a big thing in Finland, that you go to work practice and then effectually start working at the company. Like a job the student can have, like working in, for instance, in a market, like for like in inventories and maybe selling, maybe even like in the checkouts, and it could be like 10 euros an hour salary. And this, of course, the main, the total salary will come from the restrictions that which we are gonna put into the posts with the video. So it will be a definitely a good student can earn a fair bit amount of, you know, good employee, I meant, can earn a fair amount of like money in Finland, but it is regulated and it is monitored, so that even companies know in Finland that they cannot utilize a student beyond specific moments, beyond specific amount of time, sorry. And we have even Finnish future students who have like first year arriving in Finland and finding like jobs, and even though they might like be afraid that their Finnish is not perfect, it's good enough. We don't need you to be like the perfect version of yourself yet. We are helping you to get there, but you just have to put yourself out there. What else? Do we have questions? Yeah, the work things are there. It bears to mention here that the restrictions are different for vocational school students who usually are over 18-year-olds, and we will find these factoids out and put to the post. It's not terribly limited for adults, but it's also sheltered, I think, up to a degree, so that your focus is your studies, so that you won't leave your studies and end up without degree, because that's not an option, of course. Okie doke. I guess we are already like closing in to the end. Hopefully you had some bit of information and got interested about Finland and studying here, because if you do it in the Finnish language, you can do it for free in our schools. So that is something that's difficult to understand from abroad, but of course you have to learn the language, and our programs are twofold. We have two main products, which is basically studying with us online, and that is around 550 euros a month. And this is a year's program. So you can study at home, and usually you have to be a bit, usually you are a bit younger person who cannot leave like to Finland, which is of course our second main product, or the other main product. It's called FAST, and it's 6 months. And you start it like the online studies, 2 months online studies, which prepare you to come into Finland and join our amazing student houses, which can also make you comfortable understanding what is Finland like, and finding perhaps your friends, and even formulate the ideas of what kind of companies would Finland need. You can study your surroundings and make like notice all the things that we might be lacking from your perspective. Yeah, good question. How much free time does a Finnish high school student get? I heard that education in Finland is quite hard. Is our guest speaker with us also still? I would like to get a first-hand answer.
Yes.
Can you give a little
Yes.
answer here.
Yes, sure. So my school starts at 8 in the morning till 3:30, sometimes 4 in the evening. But I don't have full classes every day. I only have sometimes the schedule is full, but not every day is full. The maximum of classes I have is five classes, and the minimum is, of course, like 2 or 3 classes. So I do get plenty of free time aside from my school. So like the evening and the night is like my free time. So after 3:30, that is the free time that I get aside from school. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to get a unbiased answer, because when I studied, I had lots of free time, but also, weeks that I had to study hard. There might have been like classes or like periods that like went from 8 to 5, but sometimes I had like 2 lessons a day. So I really had lots of time to go start working or focus on my hobbies, or like just to hang around with friends and find like your life in Finland. But that depends, and it can change. It keeps that student life interesting. Sometimes you have to study hard. Sometimes you can go outside in the middle of the day and enjoy some ice cream in the sun, and then come to your lesson in the afternoon. So that is absolutely how things are in Finland. But any more questions? We still have some few minutes to answer your questions. Lunch break. How long is the lunch break in Finland? Can I bother our guest speaker again to answer if it's enough from your perspective?
So my school has 30 minutes of lunch break, and after every class I have 15 minutes break, like additional other than the lunch break. I have 15 minutes break after every class. So I think it is enough for us, because after every class we can give our brains a rest and do chat with our friends or do something that we would like to do, and we can finish our lunch. Like it is 30 minutes is enough time for me, and I find all my friends finishing their lunches like during the 30 minutes. So I think it's a enough amount of time for us.
Do you have like many back-to-back lessons? Because sometimes there can be back-to-back lessons, and which means that you might not have the 50-minute break every 45 minutes. So do you have those?
Yes, sometimes, because my school has a class, an extra class for the international students. So sometimes if we are struggling with a lesson or something, the teacher asks us if it's okay for him to take up the 15-minute and explain it to us, or would you like to get it explained the next day or the next lesson, or would you like to listen it now, taking up the 15 minutes. So most of the time we do it on the spot and taking up the 15-minute, because we don't want to like procrastinate and put in the next lesson. So sometimes, but the teachers do ask, most of the times the teacher asks if they are okay to take up the 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can happen. And naturally, when you have lessons back to back, you can have like a 30-minute break after those like 2 lessons back to back. That absolutely happens, and teachers are very open. We have like questions here, like few ones. I'm 46 years old. Is it reliable to join with the program? Absolutely. Like I said, Finland needs employees. That is, we need like tens of thousands of employees every year. So you can start and apply into the vocational school after finishing our program. And that is absolutely like the way that you should go. We don't have a retirement, like official retirement age. So that is also good. No one is too old to join our programs. Was it easy to get a vocational school after Finnish all-star level? Well, of course, Finnish language is easy to learn with our fantastic teachers, but everything like learning a new language requires an effort. So you have to put an effort there. But the reality is that if you want to do it, anything you want to do in your life, you can do, and you can focus. And we are aiming, our mission, Finnish Future's mission is to help you to have the best opportunity to get into these schools. We don't guarantee, we cannot guarantee anything, because while we have more than 100 schools with partnering us, we are not telling the schools how to do this or how to do that. We are there to service the schools and help the teachers, help the principals. And this is what we focus on. We will give you the best opportunity to get into a vocational school after our language programs. Do you get online books or paper books? Do you mean school or like Finnish Future programs? Finnish Future programs happen online mostly, but except the FAST program, which after 2 months of online preparation, you travel to Finland. And that's another story. But schools vary. Some schools provide students like laptops, some might not. Some use a lot of digital tools, like for everyone can have a smartphone and look at the material there. And some schools are like more traditional and use textbooks. Everything is fine, but it's up to the school. Okay, is it easy for a student to have a part-time job at the same time with doing hobbies like producing music? That is a good question, because I produced and composed music when I was studying, and I was also working at the time. It is doable. You just have to have a schedule and be sure that you won't overwork yourself, so that your grades won't plummet, so that you are always focusing on getting studies done, because then you are absolutely free to focus on work and your hobbies and stuff like that. But we have great communities of like all the hobbies in Finland, and you will find people there and you can start talking with them, like what is your experience, and ask even how they can get like jobs like producing music, that they could like start practicing with some artists or whoever would want to be a performer and stuff like that. Everything is possible, but you have to be just like you have to take everything into moderation. Is there any website or place where you can buy Finnish or English vocabulary books in Myanmar, or is it like Burmese language? From the top of my head, I can answer yes, but I cannot say for sure. We will figure this out. But maybe our guest speaker can end this, like give one little comment that, have you met these like Burmese language books, like Finnish literature or something like that?
I've seen a dictionary which translated into Burmese to Finnish, but
Okay.
it's very rare to find. I mostly use the Finnish English dictionaries and vocabulary websites. It is called like Sanakirja, like it's in Finnish, but I use that website a lot. So yeah, that's the only website I use. So yeah. There are some places that you can buy books.
Sanakirja?
Yeah, Sanakirja.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, there might be, use Google. Google is great. It might tell you some answers. We are going to a bit on an overtime. There's a questions that students who want to go to Finland to study in high school. I don't know if Finland is still free of tuition fees. That is the thing. We are free of tuition fees if you study in Finnish language or in Swedish. That is absolutely a possibility. But the reality is that we are always, when people are comparing other countries like programs with Finland, they are like, how can something this good be free? And that is what Finland is. That is the, the Finnish dream. The American dream is the Finnish reality. And you just have to take the first step. Come to study with us online. Start with our online programs. If you can see if you can come into Finland like after 2 months of preparation, and then get a foot into like what the community is all about and see what the Finland is all about. So that is absolutely the way to go, because being here, you are constantly hearing Finnish in every direction. Even though we mentioned here like the cultural shocks that Finns are shy and quiet, you still hear Finnish language spoken everywhere, and you learn that much better. Yeah, thank you. The hour went by fast. So if you have questions, please send them to hello@finishfuture.org, and also visit our website, follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook. In Facebook, we will update our future webinars. Absolutely see them, register, invite your friends to hear all about these amazing opportunities in Finland. That's about it. Thank you, everyone. I will see you hopefully in the next webinar and hear from you through the emails and